This is the Walpole Conservation Commission meeting for February 11th, 2026. And we're going to start with some certificates of compliance because our first hearing is not till 7:05, so we think we can get those in. So the first certificate of compliance we have is for Hartson Road, and what do you have to say about that?
Hartshorn Road is not ready yet because we're gonna wait till spring until it's stabilized. We have the grass growing for the final inspection.
Okay. So we don't need to say anything more about
No.
that, right? Okay. How about 82 Winter Street? What's going on with that?
Okay, 82 Winter Street, we just received the as-built plan for the landscape area and the pool, and that's all been completed, ready to go.
Okay, good. So we'll be signing that one.
I'll move that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. So this is coming around to sign, and while we're signing that, Landis will tell us about the Mass DOT.
Right, so the Mass DOT was a sidewalk project on Main Street, Route 1A, down towards the Neponset River, south. And they are complete. And I also checked with the engineering department, and they're okay with them as well, so.
Nice.
Ready to go.
Okay. So the Mass DOT, would someone like to move that?
I'll move that.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Aye. All right, so that's coming around. All right. So we're not going to discuss the minutes because,
No, you can. Minutes is on the agenda just because the particular date isn't on there. but-
okay. So we're discussing the January minutes. January what?
14th?
14th, okay. Which we got by email. Does anyone want to comment on those, or would someone like to?
Just that I'm on the minutes twice, but other than
You're
that,
what?
we're good. As an attendee. I participate very strongly.
Okay, so was everyone
My name's
here?
just listed twice.
I was
it's fine.
absent.
Okay, so she has to abstain, correct? Is that how we do it?
Yes.
She
Yeah, you know,
Okay.
you're
Okay.
Thank you.
So would someone like to move those minutes?
I'll move
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
it. Aye.
Abstain.
Okay, so that is 501, I think. Yeah, all right. Wow, we're being efficient.
I love it.
Okay, but we can't get to any hearings yet. Is there any simple thing you can tell us about enforcement orders?
So the enforcement order for 120, 126 South Street, Acadia Brothers LLC, 315-1298. It's a project that, there was some alteration to the riverfront area, and we're just waiting for a few more plantings. They missed this fall, and we're pushing for them in the spring. So that's still on the agenda until they do the final plantings and get an as-built plan back to us for the project.
Okay. And let's skip to Priscilla Lane, because we're going to have the Al Sarabi Way very shortly. So what's going on with Priscilla Lane?
So Priscilla Lane is the involvement of the Conservation Commission is the commission holds the conservation restriction for Wisteria Way 2. This was a project in someone's backyard that they brought in a bunch of fill, and the fill was overfilled onto the abutting property, which is the open space parcel with the CR and property owned by the HOA of the Wisteria Way 2. So they've been told to remove the fill, and I've been in contact with the owner, and he is going to be doing that. He also is filing with the zoning board of appeals, so it's in the works.
Yep. Okay. And there's nothing on conservation property or pond management, right?
Right,
Okay.
ponds are frozen.
Yep, ponds are frozen. Probably the skating's okay.
What?
There's snow in them.
Okay, so that takes us to almost 7:05. So hand me the first thing that I need to read here for 7:05. All right. Okay, it's 7:05, and we have our first hearing. Town of Walpole, Commonwealth of Massachusetts Conservation Commission Notice of Intent in accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, and Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw. Notice is hereby given of the intent of Shawi A. Al-Sarabi to construct a proposed single-family dwelling with associated driveways, landscaping, and utilities at 6 Al-Sarabi Drive within the 100-foot buffer zone. Application plans will be reviewed at the Conservation Commission office or online at our site. Public hearing on the above matter will be held in person at the Walpole Town Hall, 135 School Street, February 11th, 2026 at 7:05. All interested persons are requested to be present. You can contact the agent with any questions. So we have something from the town engineer? All right. So the town engineer says that he's received the plans and has no comment at this time. Okay, great.
Chris Johnson, the
Yeah.
assistant.
Okay, the assistant town manager, okay. Representing the applicant,
Dan Marican with Legacy Engineering.
okay, would you like to present what you're doing?
Okay. So this lot is on Al-Sarabi Way, which is a private way off of Starlight Drive. Used to be 32 Starlight Drive. You might remember we were in for a notice of intent for the road. This is the first lot on the left as you come in. So it's quite a ways up the road. It's across from the existing house. Now I'm going to start with the bad stuff first. The applicant cleared the buffer zone in the work area without a permit. Not good. So, so this is the buffer zone here. There's, I don't know if you remember this subdivision, it's kind of like Boulder Trail. There are these big rock piles. So there's a rock pile here, there's a rock pile here. The house is intended to go in between the two. So this area in here, in the buffer zone in here, got cleared. They cleared about 75 feet wide into the 25-foot buffer, and they cut down about 4 trees at the edge of the wetland. They didn't stump anything. They didn't go in there with a machine. They did it with a crane. So the understory is all going to pop back up. But obviously, we have to replant this whole area. So I worked with Landis. I let her know as soon as I knew. And we came up with this plan of installing 15 new trees and 50 new shrubs. They're all native species. They're all trees and shrub species that are found on site presently. We took them from the original wetland delineation report, both the upland and wetland plantings. So I don't think you need to do anything more than just install these plantings because the loam is still there, the ground is intact. All of the old woody shrub vegetation is just going to pop back up in the spring, so this will all just add to it. And then there's a requirement in there that a wetland scientist monitor this area to ensure that no invasives grow into it. The proposed development is consistent with what we showed on the original subdivision plan. Single-family house here. This part is in the buffer zone. This part is not. The septic system is the whole front yard. We have a driveway here that comes out to the private road. There'll be an underground infiltration system here. We haven't done a test pit for that yet. We will do one. Landis, I think, wants to see that, so we will do one of those before it's installed. There'll be a retaining wall along the 25-foot buffer, so that's going to serve as a demarcation. We do have no altar plaques. Part of the subdivision approval was that in addition to the 25-foot buffer, in the 50-foot buffer, the rock outcrops not be disturbed. So these are these hatched areas that you see here. So we've kicked the limit of work out and around those rock outcrops over, to be precise, because they're hills. They're basically piles of giant boulders. So we've worked the limit of work around on both sides. We have compost sock for erosion control that's been installed on the 25-foot buffer. And then Landis requested that we run the no altar plaques all the way down to Starlight Drive. So in addition, this is where the house is. So in addition to those plaques that'll be in there, This is around that rock outcrop, and then along the 25-foot buffer, all the way down to Starlight Drive. Grand total of 17 of them. Landis did have a question about work on top of the rocky area, so this is part of that rock outcrop, and this is part of the rock outcrop. This has to come down a couple of feet. So to the extent that boulders can be removed, they will, otherwise they'll probably be hammered and broken up and then taken out. This will be taken down a couple of feet, and then fill will be installed on here, and then it'll be loamed and seeded, and it'll become yard. Same thing on this side, in this area. And as I mentioned, these portions of the rock outcrops will not be disturbed. I think that's about it for me. Questions you have?
Okay, Landis, do you want to start with some comments?
Sure, thanks, Dan, for addressing some of the questions I brought to you earlier. The other comment, which is just to make sure that the snow, when that driveway area is plowed, is not pushed out down that newly created bank.
Yeah, I can provide a plan revision with a note to that effect.
And just to note, I believe the no alteration plaques were part of the subdivision, and I think what was put out there were buckets of with concrete in them with posts in them. Do you remember that?
Well, there were old markers out there from when the house was first
Oh, was
built.
it when the house was built? I know it was a while
Those are
back, yeah.
6-inch PVC pipes filled with concrete.
Yeah.
So these would be different than that,
Yeah, these would be the more permanent ones that are required now.
yes.
Yeah, okay, good. Plantings are good, and that would just be included in the order too, for them to be reviewed and give a 2-year window for the growth.
Yep.
Okay. All right, 3 comments or questions from me. First of all, the quality of the plan is great, because sometimes we see plans that look like they weren't designed to go to Conservation Commission. It's really nice. I said so saw it this afternoon, I was like, wow, this is nice. Because, right, we see some ones that are not. Second thing is, so they're gonna put a wall along the 25-foot. So, and the erosion control is kind of right up against the wall?
It'll be at the base of the wall.
Okay,
Yeah, so the wall gets built from the backside. You know, they'll just build it up all along here, and then they'll fill it so we're raising the grade between the 2 rock outcrops.
okay.
Because these sit up much higher than the ground in between.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So we're basically filling in that valley to create the pad site for the house and the driveway.
Okay. All right, and then the third question is, in this development, wasn't there some blasting that had to happen early on or something?
I think it was, there was some blasting, yes.
Okay, so
when the
that's why,
subdivision went in.
so I was wondering, so no blasting's going to occur because you've got ledge that you
Well, we
need
have
to,
these giant boulders.
the boulders can be just removed? Or,
Some of them are really, really big. It's hard to say, for the foundation of the house, they would try to do it with hammering. But if they couldn't do that, sometimes you can't do it. They would have to blast. They probably won't have to blast.
and then hauling away material in trucks or something, or?
It'll all remain on site. There's plenty of place for it to go, right? We're filling in this whole area, so any rock that gets removed can just be placed in that area.
Okay. All right, that's it for me, thanks. Al?
I looked at the green symbols of trees and shrubs, and I didn't know which one was which.
I didn't show all the shrubs because there would be a giant green blob on the plan.
I understand that.
I just showed the shrubs in the wetland and then the trees everywhere else. And there's a note to provide a
I
total
see
of
the
15
note now. I didn't
shrubs.
see it yesterday when I was studying the plan, but I see that. However, there's no distinction of where they're going to plant which tree, and do we know whether certain of these symbols indicate oak and others indicate maple? And
Well, there's I've specified the number of each tree and shrub to be provided. If you want a condition that Landis review the locations of all of those before they're actually planted, that's easy enough to do. They can just bring them out if you want to do that. I don't know.
Well, I'd like to see which ones go where. That's always a concern of mine, because sometimes certain trees and shrubs don't get along well. The best example I can give is walnuts. You can't plant very much under or nearby a walnut tree. Fortunately, there's none involved here, but I don't know whether there's a problem with any of these other species. And I like the list. It's a pretty good variety, and that's healthy for the environment. Because when you get a monoculture, that's bad. Okay, so I don't have any other problem with the plan.
Are you proposing that,
No.
okay, Medio?
I assume you'll be doing this in the spring, sometime this spring, or is that, when do you plan on?
Well, they'll be starting construction as soon as weather permits, and if they get a permit. The plantings can be done this spring. You could condition that the plantings in the buffer zone be done as soon as weather permits.
That is a recommended
Yeah.
condition.
Otherwise, there'll be invasives creeping in.
Yep, I agree completely.
Landis will work that into the conditions. All right, that's all I've got.
Okay, Bailey?
No questions?
Jessica?
No questions.
Okay, so would someone like to move to close the hearing?
I'll move it.
What?
I would just say that the maples, the birch, and the oaks, usually you see them in the woods
Yeah,
together. They
that's
seem to
right.
like each other,
Yeah.
so they're in good company, I think.
Okay, would you like to move to close the hearing?
Robust planting.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. So order of conditions involving the snow. Making sure all the plaques are. What else, Landis?
Yeah, so I just have the trees and shrubs shall be planted this spring at the earliest date. As the no alteration bounds shall be installed right after the planting as per the conservation specs. And then as soon as conditions allow, the soil tests be made for the infiltration system. Any excess material from excavation shall be stockpiled outside the buffer zone. Snow shall not be plowed into the 25-foot no alteration area. And then I'll put monitor plants for 2 years and remove invasives. I'll write that a little better. I just jotted that down. And then just also a continuing condition, the rock outcrops shall remain
In the 50-foot buffer.
in the 50-foot buffer.
Okay. So would someone like to move those
I'll move
conditions?
it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we have a signature page?
Oh, yep, we need a signature page.
Thank you.
Yeah, we did that. Okay, is this the next one? This
I actually laid it
is
around
Allen
the-
Pond.
Allen Pond Dam.
Okay,
yes.
good. All right, so it is past 7:07. We have our second public hearing. It is about the Allen Dam. It's not actually Allen Pond, but Allen Dam. Town of Walpole, Commonwealth of Massachusetts Conservation Commission Notice of Intent in accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act and Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw. Notice is hereby given of the intent of the town of Walpole to construct proposed dam rehabilitation located at the Allen Pond Dam, Washington Street, within the wetland resource areas and buffer zone. The application and plans may be viewed at the Conservation Commission office or at our website. Public hearing on the above matter will be held in person, Walpole Town Hall, January 14th, 7:10. All interested parties are requested to be present. Contact Landis with any questions. So we have a request to continue the hearing for the Allen Dam rehabilitation to February 25th. And we already have something at 7:05. We know we're going to get something else. Should we make it 7:10? What do you think?
Sure.
Okay, so let's put Allen Dam at 7:10. And would someone like to move that?
I'll move
Do we have a second, Emilio?
Oh, sorry, second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so Allen Dam's going to go at 7:10.
On February 25th.
Yeah, February 25th. All right, so now we are looking at Shoreview Lane.
I must
Yep,
dismiss
so you're going to recuse yourself.
So Bailey Zimba is removing herself from this public hearing, sitting in the audience.
But she can talk about it from her point of view. All right, so, here's the public hearing. Conservation Commission, request for determination in accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act and Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw. Notice is hereby given of the intent of Sam Solomon to request a determination of applicability to replace an existing shed located at 4 Shoreview Lane within 100 feet of the bank of a pond and bordering vegetative wetland. Application and plans may be viewed at the Conservation Commission office or at our website. Public hearing in the above matter will be held in person at Walpole Town Hall, February 11th, 2026 at 7:10. All interested parties are requested to be present. You can contact Landis with questions. And we have a comment, actually, the Board of Health has no concerns. However, the Board of Health urges the applicant to adopt the standard best practices for mosquito mitigation and work with the Norfolk County Mosquito Control for spraying and standing water treatments, have regular cleaning of gutters, proper grading of buffer zone, prevent low points, take all measures to store pool chemicals properly. Is there a pool here?
Yes.
Okay, all right, so that's the Board of Health. All right, so representing the applicant,
Bailey Zimba for Shoreview Lane.
so what are you proposing to do, Bailey?
Replace the shed. The doors are falling off, it's just crumbling, it's a very old shed, so same footprint, just have it delivered and installed. So it's the red outline on the zoomed-in version.
Yeah.
And then the second page is the full plot.
All right, Landis, what comments do you have?
So this is a request for determination, the shed is already there. Is the shed on the a base right now? Or is
I
it
think
just?
so. Yeah, it's gotta be on something, right? Some kind of
Sometimes it's
foundation.
depending on, sometimes it's on blocks, or sometimes it's on a concrete foundation, but,
I think it's probably on blocks, yeah.
all right, great. Yeah, I looked at it just in case there's a possibility of, requesting it be moved further away from the bordering vegetative wetlands or the pond, but you have the fence established already, so it doesn't really make any sense to move the shed forward when you already have the fence located along about the same distance from the BVW and the pond. So since it's already existing shed, it's been there a while, and you're just removing the old shed and putting in a new one in the same location, I don't see that there's a impact to the resource areas. So it appears to be a negative determination.
Okay. So was this a shed that was there when you bought the house?
Yes.
Okay. And the fence looks to be something that maybe keeps the kids out of the pond or something, or?
More like, we don't have animals, but more, we just wanted it fenced in.
Yeah.
It's a requirement for having a pool too.
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah, okay. All right, so Al, any questions?
No,
Media?
No, it says proposed in-ground pool, is a pool there?
Yeah,
It's a-
these are the older plans from the previous
All right,
submission, yeah.
yeah, just wanted to
Thank you.
clarify. And who's, are they taking the old shed away? What are you doing with the old?
Yeah, that's gonna go to the trash. Yeah, we'll get like a dumpster probably, or whoever's bringing the new one, I think.
They'll
will
take the
that
old
one.
one away, okay. That's all I got.
Okay, oh, yes, Jessica.
No questions. I have no questions.
Okay, so would someone like to move
I have a
to,
question, what color is the shed?
I was gonna say, is it red?
You know, I don't know.
really, Bailey? I mean,
Everything's white at my house, so I'd rather have something a little, you know.
Red.
Red could be fun. I like green. I actually like the color of Betsy's jacket. I'm a big forest green fan, but I don't know. They have some like standard colors, right? That I guess we could get it custom painted, but I think that'll be more
Green would
expensive.
blend.
all right, would someone like to move to close the
So
hearing?
moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, so that's 5. And does she count as an abstention?
No, she's completely not here.
Okay, all right.
She's
All
on
right,
the other side.
So, anything that you'd like to say besides we need a plaque?
We have plaques. They're already installed.
Oh,
I
there's
know, this is an older plan.
already
This was,
a
but this was
plaque.
the last plan we submitted,
Okay,
so I was.
anything else that you'd like
Maybe
to?
you want a new plan.
Right, and I don't think there's gonna be any disturbed area, they're just
No.
probably gonna disassemble the old one and put the new
Yep.
one up, so
That's the plan.
I think it's fine the way it is.
Okay, good. So would someone like to move that we accept this, or this is,
So moved.
Second.
all in favor? Okay, 500. Okay,
Thank you.
welcome. All right, so do we have, oh, sorry, Lynn.
A negative 3.
So for the next one, do I read 3 separate notices for well 5, 6, and 7? Okay, all right, let me get started.
They're all RDAs. Here's your, hold on.
Okay,
This is your signature,
Okay.
and just for the record, Bailey, we entered the
right,
commission zone.
right.
She has re-entered the commission zone.
Okay, so I'm reading 3 different notices.
Yeah, I mean,
That's great, because I'm.
Or
going to
can
do the
I,
same
in
thing.
one notice, say wells 5, 6, and 7?
Oh, right, of course. Of course, yeah. We would probably have someone too.
I mean, it's all gonna be the same wording, except well 5.
there's just different wells in the other zone.
No, this is,
But I don't usually read aloud the map numbers. Okay. All right. So we have 3 back-to-back public hearings coming up right now. Yep.
Okay.
And I'm going to sort of put them together in one reading of the notice, because it's for 3 wells, well 5, well 6, and well 7. Town of Walpole, Commonwealth of Massachusetts Conservation Commission request for determination in accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act and Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw. Notice is hereby given to the intent of the Town of Walpole, DPW, to request a determination of applicability for proposed construction of a replacement, but this is gonna be 3 replacement gravel-packed public drinking water supply wells located, they're called wells 5, 6, and 7. You can take a look at the website to see exactly what map and lot numbers they are. Application and plans will be reviewed at the Conservation Commission office or at our website. Public hearing on the above matter will be held in person at the Walpole Town Hall, February 11th, 2026, 7:15. All interested persons are requested to be present. Contact Landis with any questions. So we're doing wells 5, 6, and 7. So Rick?
I think this is the same comment for all.
Oh, comment, yes. Board of Health has no concerns at this time.
That's it. Oh, Chris Johnson, yeah, but he's in town engineer also.
Chris Johnson has no comments at this time. Okay, so who is representing the applicant?
Good evening. My name is Peter Newton. I'm with H2 Olson, and I'm representing the Walpole Water and Sewer Department. Over the years, 2 of Walpole's wells, wells 5 and 6, have suffered from declining yields from what their state-approved pumping rates are. Steve has asked us, H2 Olson, to look into the process for restoring that lost capacity, and that generally consists of replacing the well. So at well number 5, so there's I'm going to amend a little bit about what you said for the descriptions. Well number 5 is a replacement well, so the original well is going to be abandoned under state protocols. Well number 6 replacement is going to be a supplemental well. So the original well 6 is going to remain, and we're going to supplement the capacity that's lost at 6 with the new well, because the existing well 6 is actually in better shape than the existing well 5. The existing well 5 is essentially obsolete at this point. And well number 7 is not a replacement well at this time. It is a new source, what we would call under, what DEP refers to as a new source exploration project. So this is a site that we've identified that has the potential to be a future public water supply well. So that is a exploratory project.
So I was wrong to not read all 3 notices, apparently. Sorry.
You are
Okay,
not
thanks, thank you.
The vice chair is never wrong. So essentially what the projects entail, and 5 and 6 are the same. We've had the wetlands delineated and shown on the plans, and the wetlands flags and are here. This is the 30-foot buffer zone, 100-foot up here. This is the, do I need to carry this close to me?
Take it off, there you go.
So the existing well 5 building is here, and the existing well is inside the building. The replacement well is going to be located about 15 feet outside the building. We did some exploratory borings a couple of years ago, about a year and a half ago, to identify where the most appropriate spot would be from where the aquifer materials are most productive. And so we've identified this spot right here as the location of 5R,
Okay.
replacement well 5. So it's outside the 30-foot buffer zone. We've proposed wattles, basically straw or hay wattles, to between the drilling location and the resource area. One of the things that's involved with these projects is you have to pump them. Once the wells are installed, we rate them and we do water quality sampling. So we pump the well at its design rate for 48 hours. That's a fair amount of water. It can lead, if it's unmanaged, it can lead to scouring and transport of sediment. So we create discharge areas. The discharge areas, and these pictures are going to be the same for basically all 3. Kind of show you a little bit about what this looks like. These are recent similar projects that we were doing in other towns. This is how we delineate the work area with these wattles. This is these are the drilling rigs. This is what the well looks like when it's getting ready to be tested, and this is basically how what the discharge area, the pump test discharge area looks like, all contained within the delineated work area. So the whole, there is sediment, there's sands and gravels that we pull out of the well when we construct it. That has to be managed, and that's how we manage it, to make sure that some of that sediment doesn't discharge into a resource area. Well number 6 is essentially the same. It's just the resource area is a little bit different. And I did walk the areas with all 3 areas with Landis, and took a lot of her advice on how we where we lay things out, where we're going to put the discharges. And so, this is existing well number 6, the pump station. It's generator pad exploratory wells here, and so the replacement well is here again. This is the wetlands delineation. This is 30-foot buffer and 100-foot up here. So we're out of the 30, but we're in between the 30 and the 100 in this one as well. Because this grades down this direction, ideally we'd like to discharge the pump test water up away, but it'll just run back down on us. So we've gone around to the other side of the building. We'll run some discharge pipe and discharge into this area over here into a contained area with that with that basin. The basin there is a sediment trap, it's also a velocity reduction device. It'll overtop over the course of the test, but that water, it spreads evenly, and so the velocities are way down. So it eliminates scouring and sediment transport. Does anybody, I'm gonna kind of pause at these two, answer any questions, then I'll talk about well 7, because it's slightly, it's roughly the same, but it's a different conceptual project.
Okay. Dennis, do you have any comments on wells 5 or 6?
No, I don't have any comments other than these are requests for determinations of applicability, and under the Wetlands Protection Act, there's an exemption for projects that are for the public that have to do with public utilities such as water. And the standard that they have to show is that they're not going to be impacting the resource areas with erosion control and the dewatering areas and stuff like that. So just to keep that under consideration. That's it.
Okay, thanks. No comment. Al, do you have a comment?
On well number 6,
Yep,
on the plan, you show a cluster of 3.
yep.
And well 6 is one of those 3. What are the other 2?
Those were exploratory wells that we drilled. They're borings. They're basically test borings that we drilled to take a look at what the aquifer material was at that location. So we installed those wells, and we did some preliminary testing to see how well they pumped water. And then, so those are, those will become what we call offset wells, so we can monitor the performance of the production well when it's in place.
So one of them is going to become well number 6.
No. So those are 2-inch wells. These wells are going to be 24-inch diameter wells.
And the
But at the
six-
location of, yes, but not those wells.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's the only question I have.
okay.
Emilio?
So sorry, I know you explained this, but 6R, where is that where 6 is right now?
6 is inside the building.
6 is
Inside
5 is
the
as
building.
well?
Excuse me?
5 is 5 as well?
5 is inside the building as well, 6, they're both inside. So
Both inside, okay.
back when they built these wells, they usually put the pump station over around the well, so all the material all the equipment and stuff is inside.
Okay.
If these were wells that were being started from scratch, we would probably do something like that, because you have electrical equipment, you have SCADA equipment inside, so we want to protect that. Because this building already exists, we don't need to build a new building, so we're going to basically take this well and we're going to pipe it into the building and then use all the existing space in there for that equipment. So it's really just going to be, all you'll see out there is a 24-inch, or, well, actually, you'll see an 18-inch. The well is going to be 18 inches itself. 24 inches outside diameter, gravel around an 18-inch casing.
Yep.
So you'll see an 18-inch pipe sticking out of the ground, like this high.
So this will augment 6?
Correct.
Okay,
Yep,
okay. All right, that's all I have.
thank you.
Bailey?
No questions.
Hey, Jessica?
No questions.
Hey, Julie?
I just, I'm curious about the sediment and where it goes. You showed that.
Yeah, so the sediment, when we develop and test the well, is going to be over into this area over here.
Okay,
It's going to be contained over there.
and then what happens to it? Like, just,
Well, because this area is, there's a lot of gravel, the intent is to spread it on site.
okay.
And it's, it's sand and it'll just
So
disappear.
it'll just go back to,
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I wondered. Thank you.
good question, actually. Yep.
Okay, so do you think we should close the hearing on those two, or?
And render decision, you can do that?
Yeah, okay, all right.
I have
Oh,
one more
what?
question that just kind of came to mind while you were talking that I hadn't asked before. Once these wells are put in, what type of maintenance over the years occurs to them?
So,
Is picking part of the maintenance?
yeah, so over time, there's minerals in the water, right? So the minerals can precipitate inside in the well screen, and you can get some iron and manganese, iron, I don't know, they call it flock.
Yeah.
So, and that can end up plugging up the well screens. I don't think I have a picture of a well screen on this one. I thought about it, but I didn't put it in. So it's just basically, you have a solid casing, then you've got a screen at the bottom, which is basically what they call wire wrap screen around a 10 or 12-foot tall well screen. Those gaps are where how the water gets into the well from the aquifer. So over time, it can be 6 months, it can be 3 years, 5 years, but minerals precipitate in that space and plug up the well screen. So every so often, you need to get in there and clean them. If it's not bad, they use mechanical surging, so they use basically a big brush and they scrub the inside of the well.
They call
And then-
pigging.
It's similar. It's a pigging is a little bit different, but it's the same kind of idea. Sometimes if the mineral is a little more stuck, they'll use some acid. They use muriatic acid to try to dissolve it, and then surge it and pump it. But it's basically something that gets done. It's done on all the existing wells we have that town has, and pretty much every well should do it. A lot don't, and then we get to a point where the well can't be recovered. The capacity can't be recovered. So.
All right, so, I mean, can we close the hearing on wells 5 and 6 and then vote on?
I don't see why not.
Okay, so would someone like to move to close the hearing about,
So moved.
hearings about 5 and 6?
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, so 600.
Okay, so I would recommend the -5, which is the exemption for public utility projects, this being for water, under 10.022A, I don't know, I wrote it down, 2. Yeah, 10.022A2. That it meets that standard, provided there's erosion control and taking care of the farms.
So would someone like to move that?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. So 600. Okay, so now it's
you very
well number 7.
Number 7. All right. So 5 and 6 were replacement wells. 7, as I said earlier, is a new, what we would call a new source exploration project. The reason I kind of wanted to separate a little bit is because a new source exploration project is a multi-step process. All right, there's preliminary exploration, there's identifying where you want to look, doing some preliminary looking. If that looks favorable, you go in and we go to the phase we're at now, which is a small diameter test well for the purpose of eventually performing a prolonged pumping test. What we want to identify is whether this well can actually, the site can actually produce water of decent quality. I say decent, we would love it to be extraordinarily good quality, but there's almost none of that left in Massachusetts. Everything kind of requires treatment at this point. But and then beyond that, if that looks suitable, then we go into designing an actual well, an actual pumping station, a building to put the equipment in. And so there's multiple opportunities for us to come before the Conservation Commission on a project like this to discuss it. Now, some commissions have said, well, that sounds like segmenting a project to me, and what I wanted to head off before we got there was that we have no idea if this phase is going to prove fruitful. So to come in and say, we want a permit, file a notice of intent to install the well, to do a pump test, to install all the monitoring wells we would have to put in, and the discharge for the pump test, and a building that we would need to build when the pump test, is complete and we get state permits for the well. That is just, it's not feasible to do. So this will be a stepwise project with you guys. If this phase is productive and it looks like this is a good site for a future public water supply well, and the town wants to fund that, then we'll be back before you for those phases of the project. But for this one, we did some exploratory borings. What was that about? Was that last year? Or was it?
was the end of last summer.
And Yeah, okay, and we found a spot that from these little borings, looks like it would be a very good site for a public water supply well. Now, it's in, is that the town forest, school? School-
Yeah, sorry, Steve. if
This
you're
is
gonna-
Ste- sorry,
can you just
Steve Nunnery.
Introduce yourself and.
I'm Steve Nunnery, the water superintendent. Good evening, everyone. So this well is off of Washington Street behind the water plant. As you go down towards the town forest, you'll pass Washington 4. If you keep walking, the next well you see is in the ponds, and this is roughly in the middle of those two wells.
Thanks. So, one of those locations looked fantastic from a yield, from a water quantity standpoint. The next thing we have to do is confirm that that quantity is good, and then get an assessment of what the quality is. So to do that, we'd like to install an 8-inch well at the location of this well, 24, well, it's not right, 24-4 was the number of the well. So the process is very similar to the bigger wells. It's just smaller equipment and a smaller diameter well and lower pumping rates. So, but we do have wetlands that are fairly close. We've got the well just outside the 30-foot buffer zone as best we can do it. And a discharge a little further away from the river. School Meadow Brook is down here, flows that way. And so, you know, nothing, there, this is actually, I believe, is an isolated wetland. It's not connected to the river. But it's, you know, our delineator flagged it as wetlands, and so we are here.
Good, thanks. Landis, do you have any comments?
No, again, I did go out there and take a look at the site and gave comments at the moment. I was out there, so this is the exploration temporary pumping
Correct.
equipment for future location of
Correct.
a new well.
Yep. And if all goes well, then we'll be back with a
Right,
note.
with a notice of
That'll be a
intent.
notice of intent, because we'll have to do a lot more work.
Okay, yeah, gotcha.
No comment? Al, do you have a comment?
No,
Media?
All set.
Okay, Bailey?
All set.
Okay, Jessica?
I just have a question, and it's just because I'm not great with the legends. It looks like there's a gas line somewhere. Where's the gas line?
No,
Okay.
this is a standard legend block.
Okay.
So if there was a gas line, it would be on there, but,
Okay, I was like,
yeah.
There's a
no,
gas
it's-
line, but it's a lot further.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's just, that's just the
I'm
standard
like, which of
legend
these
that we have.
dashed
Sorry about
lines?
that.
I'm missing it. But-
Yeah.
That'll be a good catch, Jessica.
Well, that was an easy answer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm all
All
set,
right,
thank you.
okay. All right, so does someone want to move to close the hearing?
so moved.
Second.
All in favor? Did we just close the hearing? Did I just do that twice?
No.
Okay, we're good. All right, okay. All right, anything we want to add comment-wise?
So again, I would just recommend the -5 under the exemption from 0.02 to A2, because it's a public utility for the benefits of the public, so they can get
Right.
more water, or not more water, cleaner water, better water?
Cleaner
I don't
water,
know. Quicker water. Water.
All right, would someone like to vote to approve that? Or would, excuse me, move?
So moved.
I second that.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
600.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Give determinations.
All right, so now we,
So these are your,
oh, okay, let's sign these, and then we're going to have one more public hearing. Oh, okay. I was wondering too. All right, while these three things are coming around being signed, we have a 7:25 hearing. So, Town of Walpole, Commonwealth of Massachusetts Conservation Commission, notice of intent in accordance with Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 131, Section 40, the Wetlands Protection Act, and Walpole Wetlands Protection Bylaw. Notice is hereby given of the intent of Louis Petrosi, Wall Street Development Corporation, to construct 15 proposed single-family homes with driveway, stormwater management, utilities, and site grading at 9 Pinnacle Drive within wetland resource areas, including 200 feet of the Neponset River. The application and plans may be viewed at the Conservation Commission office or at the website of the Conservation Commission. Public hearing on the above matter will be held in person at the Walpole Town Hall, April 9th, 2025, 7:30 PM. All interested persons are requested to be present. Contact Landis if there are any questions. So we have a note from Lou saying that because the plans and other information we haven't had a chance to review them, they came in a bit late, it would seem appropriate to request that the hearing be continued until February 25th. And so we already have 3 things. We have 7, 7:05, and 7:10, so we could put them at 7:15. Would someone like to move to put that at 7:15?
So moved.
Okay. And would someone like to second? Did you second in the video? Okay. All in favor? Aye. 600.
So just associated with that I think it's okay to just briefly talk about, even though the applicant isn't present at the moment, the peer review. So the additional information was submitted to the peer review. I'm awaiting a proposal from the peer reviewer. There is some funds still available from the last check that we received from the applicant, but I expect it may be a little more than what check we have. So I was hoping to have the proposal for you all tonight to look at, but if I could get just a vote that once the proposal comes in, I can move forward with getting that new peer review in the works, I would appreciate it.
Yeah. That makes
I'd
sense.
move that.
Okay.
I would second that.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, 600
Thank you.
for Landis to move on that. Great. Is there any other business, Landis, that we have to do?
I think we're all set, just for board comments, we did get a package from the planning board on the Toll Brothers application that's scheduled with them for March 5th. And I just recommend they're meeting with us on February 25th, so we'll just send the planning board comments after that meeting.
Yeah, okay.
Makes sense.
Does anyone have anything they want to add to?
There's that project that, the old tower and that burned down and all that's moving forward now, it looks like.
The clock tower.
The clock tower.
Yeah.
Okay,
It
so,
is.
so that's moving forward.
Yeah, they've been out there, they're out there
Yeah.
working.
Okay, so they're gonna do as they proposed.
Yeah, I
So far,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
so, okay.
Right, and there was some invasive species remediation over by the pond that they were going to do. I did talk to them when it changed hands, it got sold by someone else.
Right.
So, they do know they have to do that.
Okay, all right, good. It's nice to see that it's moving forward.
Yeah.
Good,
Yeah.
all right.
We
that's
get
all.
asked about it a lot, don't we? People think that we know. They'd be like,
Yeah.
what's happening with the clock tower? Okay, good, okay.
Yeah, and I did notice when I was going over there to see the new work that there was that Hollingsworth and Bose, when they plowed their parking lot over there, it pushed it all up against
Into
the
the-
river and down the bank. So I did contact them and tell them they can't do that.
Yeah, okay,
Huh,
good.
okay.
Yeah, it's been a few years since we've had any plowable snow.
I know.
Yeah.
This is much plowable snow, yes. it's-
One time,
Yeah.
yeah.
Quite a lot.
Yeah.
That storm was a big one.
Yes.
Or piled up snow.
All right.
All right, so would someone like to move to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
600.